Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, David.
Apparently we're live.
Well, I hope we're live.
It's allergy season, so it's going terrible. No, it's fine.
Watch live now. Ooh.
Yeah, it says
we're
it's
live. We're live. See,
but we're so small there. Make us bigger. No, I'm just kidding. It's just
I can't see. Then I can't see the chat.
Yes, that is a problem. Yep.
Yes. So I combed through the news archives.
You combed through them, or you looked at your RRS feeds?
Yes, that too. And I didn't see anything that jumped out particularly well, except for one thing. But we can talk about that. And then for slicers and stuff, I just went through all that, and nothing's particularly jumping out. Like for versions, there's a bunch in release candidates and stuff. Bamboo Studio, obviously, with the new release 2 is out, 2.0.1 of the Bamboo Studio. So if you're using that, it has a number of new features. When you have auto supports on now, it's tree supports by default for anyone. So that's kind of neat. And then they have a couple of different new infill patterns and stuff like that. So it's nothing like crazy, but yeah, there's a number of little things in there, but I don't see anything for any of the other ones that we normally go over. Like there's nothing new in Orca because we already talked about that, and Prusa, like I said, release candidates, and Kira's still in release candidates. So well, that's where we are there.
I think my favorite bug fix on the update for Bamboo Studio in their list of like public release bug fixes is number 4. Attempted to fix an issue on Windows. if it didn't work, why are you just skip it? You know,
at least they tried.
You don't have to put it in there though. Like, we tried real hard, guys.
Well, maybe they were. There's quite a bit of discussion on how to fix it, and then they just couldn't come up with a fix. You know,
it's possible. I will say that like last week we were talking about an issue in Orca Slicer that exists where where you have the filament. Yeah. So like I have printers, but like here's the thing, mine wasn't exactly that, but like I have printers like an Ender 3 or like the CR10, like those old profiles don't have all the filament types with them, and if you go into the filaments, you check all the types, they didn't show up. So I wasn't trying to bring an old profile forward, I was just trying to make them show up, like the default stuff. So it's a different problem, so I'm still struggling with that, and I'll have to the fixes that the video suggested. So Orca did say there's a problem where if you had a printer with profiles and brought it forward, some of the presets wouldn't come properly, which is like a bummer.
Filament presets too.
Yeah, apparently. So I'm working on that. However, I'm not working on it very hard because I've just gone, we had stuff doing. So I will, I'll have to get back to that. I have progress on the robot, except I have to rewrite the guy's code. So that's going to take me a minute just to read through what he wrote and figure out what's wrong with it. But hey, it's been 5-6 years since I debugged something good. Let's do it.
And then you got a new ESP32 to play.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to make It's going to be a 3D printed. Good morning. Good morning. It's going to be a 3D printed, basically like glucose display. If you're not aware, I have type 1 diabetes, so I monitor my glucose a lot. So I want to build a project of the ESP32 that is a quick glance to display. I'm not going to give away how yet, but it'll be a 3D printed project with the ESP32 driving it. So should be interesting. And then we'll kind of show the project. Kind of. Yeah, that's the one. So,
I knew what you meant.
That's coming up. That's coming up. So, we'll probably show some of that stuff on the Patreon side and on the front end of the show too.
Do we want to talk a little bit about the Patreon restructuring?
Heck yes.
Okay.
So, first off, thank you for everybody who is a Patreon right now. Your benefits are staying the same. We'll still have the same Discord. We'll have the same, hopefully the live streams. We haven't done one in a minute, but we'll have those as well. But one thing that we're going to be changing, Patreon is an important part of our show, not only because it helps us keep the lights on, but it also helps us get information out to you. And part of that is on the back end is the Discord. The Discord is a handy thing, and you'll find out during this show that we use the Discord and the chats to talk about projects and stuff, not just from us, but maybe some stuff that you guys have. So what we're going to do is take the free tier of Patreon will have its own section, to which the paid tier will have access to as well. But the paid tier is still the paid tier. So basically, we'll have two zones where we can like talk about like important things, like if the show's happening in the week, or updates on current stuff that we're trying to get answers to. The paid side is still the paid side, meaning that you'll have more access, like we'll actually be attentive in there and like look at it and that kind of stuff more.
You talked with your hands too much in your camera.
Hello, this is Big David, and he appreciates your time. I'll fix it. But
he has one of those fancy cameras that hand gestures. So when you talk with your hands,
it's like
reacts.
You can shut it off. There you go. There you go. Okay, I didn't turn one light on too, so the green screen's like meh.
Funny.
It's blurp. So anyway, that's gonna come to the Patreon. Probably this week we'll start working on those changes, so everybody will have access to a free tier.
Can we incorporate the bot thing to auto populate from if they subscribe to Patreon to the free Patreon?
Yeah, you can tell which way to go. Yeah, and that's exactly why we're using Patreon too. I despise the idea of having an open Discord server where like we just put the link up there and be like, join here. We need to
you make that effort to join, whether the paid one versus the free one. If you're making the effort to actually become a part of the Patreon, then you should be brought over. Obviously, there's going to be bonuses for the paid people, but we still want to engage with everyone that follows us. So,
yeah, for sure. And like we do, sorry, I'm gonna choke a little, but that's fine. Like we do have 3 tiers of Patreon that start like it's $3 is where it starts at. So, but. Enough of Patreon. We're not selling Patreon here. We're just gonna make those changes so that we can have better communication with everybody, whether paid or not. So it should be fun.
We should thank a couple of people.
The Patreons.
Yeah, like we do officially have a few subscribers that pay to be here and on. So thank you very much.
We don't pay to be here.
To participate here with us. So, yeah.
And after all that talk about it, if you wanted to be join the Patreon, it's patreon.com/3dmakeit. You can check out all those tiers. We have our website too, www.3dmakeit.ca, that has a bunch of information and stuff too. So yeah, stay tuned. Go check it out. So something, I don't know how big it is, like physically speaking, but Bondtech is doing a thing that's kind of cool.
It looks pretty neat. I gotta say, are you going to share it, or do you want me to share it?
Oh, you can share it. Hey Ray. So I think actually Ray had texted me this last week after the show. I'm pretty sure.
Let me get my sharing ready.
Yeah, no worries. But it's kind of cool. So there's a couple things happening in 3D printing, right? And one was the AMS or the enraged carrot feeder or CFS, or those things that hold 4 rolls of filament, and which is great, by the way. But the other side of the development has been going to more of a tool changing situation.
Yeah, multi-material, multi-material, not multicolor.
Yeah,
like
so
actual ABS or PEEK or TPU or whatever.
So we get like and to do it efficiently, probably easiest is you're going to use multiple heads on your printer to print with, and to do that, like right now, probably the biggest printer on the market, like commercially, or I guess at the hobby level, really would be like the Prusa.
Yeah, and they do what, 5?
Yeah,
and
and
5.
I think
it does. It says like 2.
Yeah.
3 or 5 or something like that, or
well, you can put 1 on it, but then it's not much fun.
No, yeah, but then it's just a bigger.
Yeah, but the Prusa. So we're talking the XL, and that one does let you do independent feeds on the hot ends. Now, the other one that's been around forever that it's kind of lost along the wayside is the E3D platform. They had a platform.
Yeah, which I think that's kind of what the Prusa was kind of based on.
Yeah. Well, for sure it was, right? Because it's just an iterative step past that from another manufacturer. So Grace got the screen share up, and so we'll start talking about what we're going to talk about, and that's Bondtech.
Yeah. So I ran across this, which I think so. Let me just bring up a picture of a tool changer. Let's see if I can find a good example of what it looks like. Yeah, here's a good example. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like on the Prusa. It has the carriage that goes back and forth, and then it picks up a full extruder with your filament in it, and has to exchange it, and then goes and prints. So Bondtech rethought that, and if you look at this kind of just quick like little cutout or teaser, they've got your filament in your hot end with a gap for the filament to be grabbed by the gears of the extruder. And so I'm unclear as to whether it's docked, whether the hot end is staying hot, so there's no like wait time and whatnot. But but it looks pretty cool. And I can probably show the video, but I should probably mute the audio.
Yeah, just the animation.
And so the video looks really cool. It grabs it, picks the tool, pulls it off, and then starts printing with multiple materials. And so there's no and it doesn't really say how many of those you can have, but they clearly video, they have a ton of different nozzles and whatnot available. Yeah, so Index, is that what they're?
Yeah, Index is what they're calling it. So to go back, like so one of their disruptive features, I guess, in the area of tools changing, they call it, is the fact that it doesn't actually require heat to change the filaments. So what I'm picturing, and this might be wrong, but like it says on their descriptions and in their documentation, it says that it's it uses passive tool chain or filament methods, so it doesn't require hot end. So it's called they actually call it hot endless index, and so it uses passive tools. So I'm almost picturing like a cutter that can pull out and exchange the filament inside the tool.
I don't know, because it almost looks like this is because if you can see the picture at the bottom there's some filament sticking out, and so this looks like it's a hot end of sorts.
Well, that's what I mean, right? Like the actual IDEX part where the filament enters, that's where all the swapping happens. And then there's okay, obviously it's a 3D printer and some gets hot.
Yeah, so it looks like the bottom half here is the hot section and the top half here is the cold section. But I'm not sure if this bottom section stays warm in between. Like you said, is it passive? Like, is it just always there? So you don't have to extrude and change colors and whatnot like on the bamboo or any of the CMSs or anything like that. So that's really cool.
So so each unit looks like it's going to cost around $250 US is what it says right now, or euros, as $/ there. If you go to the Bondtech site for Index, it actually shows some different pictures. It kind of puts everything into perspective. Yeah. So that's there you go.
Well, look at that. Like,
yeah, so that's what the system actually looks like.
So, this is the end that we couldn't see because it was attached to.
Yeah.
This is the back side, and then, so there's some. That's neat. Is there anything other?
Just like an FAQ underneath. The thing is that this is really new.
Well, yeah, so, it's not out until November, so this is like a real tease.
So, but what we know for sure, actually, of Bondtech is one, they make really good stuff. So, even getting one as a hot end to test with, so like it would be very interesting to just see dual end on this. But you can see like there's the carriage kind of like picking up the different hot ends, so you can see that piece docks in really nice there and just grabs them, which is why it says it's a passive change, not like an active change.
Yeah, because with when you look at the stuff from Prusa, they actually have to go actively detach a whole extruder.
Yeah.
Then actively retach, which there's a whole alignment process you have to do to make sure everything's perfect and whatnot. Whereas this, in theory, should minimize that because your extruder, the mass of your extruder, and everything, like you should be able to index that pretty accurately and repeatably. Because you don't have as much to do there. All the latching and everything is done on the extruder side. So that's fascinating. I think this is, I could see a lot of companies building off of this tech, like maybe licensing it from them.
And that's one thing, like Bondtech has lots of like licensable apparatus, right? That people like their extruders, their hot ends, they've got good stuff.
Copyrighted the crap out of this, and then they can license it, and then
I'm sure they would have. Oh, sorry.
Oh
This the
no!
new.
Don't die, David.
So I got a new insulin pump. Talking about that stuff, and it makes all sorts of neat sounds. And unless you actually address them, they don't stop.
It'll keep
So
Oh, please address it.
excuse me while I address it. Okay.
So yeah. So it's pretty interesting to. I'm just showing off the. I'm trying to see if they have a good view of. They don't really have a great view of the Prusa tool head.
No, but it's like you said, it's the whole head.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if
now,
they had some sort of example of the
Raymond
whole.
brings up a very interesting point. They're looking for people to beta test these. There's a form on the website. It looks like here you can fill out too. So hey, you might wanna be a beta tester. It definitely interests me. Like this is something that I could use on like my SX4 platform, right? Like it's
I
huge and
I could see this being a huge upgrade for Voron owners,
oh yeah,
right?
anything Core XY, this would probably improve your life if you're looking at like that. You're looking at
You probably go off the
the
chair now.
multi-material. Greg doesn't want to be big in there. There you go. No, you want to be big. You don't want to be small. That's what it is. Man, I changed my lighting a little bit, and so now I got to figure out where to put my mic. It's really bothering me, guys. I'll figure it out.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, well, if you get him in at the shop, we'll come up. If you're a beta test, I want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see it. They probably have NDAs up the wazoo that you have to sign.
It's okay. We're NDAable.
But it's pretty cool. I gotta say.
So let's switch. So we're gonna switch gears from something completely new to something really old.
All right.
Boo! Bad segues.
And this will flow into the next topic too.
Yes. So this is all an amalgamation now. But recently, I don't know if everybody's heard, I'm building a robot. Right? It's a beep boop boop boop. I showed it off a little bit ago. It's that little it's a little tank.
It's like a snow cat kind of thingy.
So like let's see if I can find it here, and I will bring it up probably here. I'm gonna play screen roulette with y'all because I've been monkeying with my monitors, so I don't know if my screen share's on the right screen. Let's see what you see. Oh, it is too, suckers. So this is what I'm building. This is the Scout ESP. I got all the parts. I've got the servos. And the only catch is this is the thing that I was talking about that the servos weren't working for. So like it
wasn't running the tracks at the right speed or something. Right?
Yeah. So like they turn and then it won't. They give like a not even a quarter turn and then that's it. So anyway, that's kind of what brought this topic up. Greg knows that I was trying to print some CPU that's actually really good TPU. I will throw that out there. It's from our friends at Spool. But like the shore hardness on it was let's say spaghetti. I'm not exactly sure.
A little bit softer than you expected.
Yes, it's not quite Ninja Flex, but it's almost. And so I could print it okay, like if I had like a large surface touching the print bed, it printed fine. I've printed lots of flexible octopuses and stuff like with it. But when I tried to actually print the tread for the robot, the surface contact so like almost nothing. And it fell off over and over and over and over and over and over.
One of them almost got done.
This is true. One of them did. And it was very by the even on, so we went to I was using the K1 Max to start with, just to get perspective, and I had slowed it down to 10. So 10 millimeters a second. All of the settings, really slow. And it was still failing. So then I thought, what's happening here? So I looked at the profile for the filament. And then eventually I saw a thing that the side fan on the default TPU settings comes on eventually, and that was blowing it off the build plate. So I shut that off, but it still is having some issues. And so then here comes the something old to the rescue. And the question that we have on the show notes is your 8-year-old printer good enough still?
Hey, they all print.
All print. Now, they have an Ender 3. It has Clipper on it. It can print. It's modified so it can actually print pretty fast if it has to. But
everyone back there.
One thing that the Ender 3s are really good at, super good at, is printing really slow. So it has a sprite extruder on it.
An 8-year-old printer can print slow.
Right. So I got a sprite extruder. I've got like the Ender 3 going. I slow way down. I go like 15 degrees on the Ender 3 and the print comes out perfect first time.
Yeah.
First time.
Ray has a point. He says you need to make sure that you raise your bed temperature to 60.
Yeah, it was everywhere from the 35, which I thought was stupid, and that was stupid. I went up to 100 and yeah, like on the spool that I have, it said 75 to 85. So we tried those, and then we went higher. Yeah, and it's still. And the thing is let's see if I have the file and I can open it up here and show you. The actual. Okay, I hate this song already. Sorry. Let's see if I have the files. I think I do. Yes, I do. I will open them up here. So the actual print, gross. Why does it want to open in gross? Why are you it wants to open in Kira? And I'm like, I have Kira on here? What the heck? So anyway, I get the TPU nice and hot. I'll bring up the object in a second here. And it just kept failing. And like, it's no fault of the fault is not that of the K1 Max or the K1C. The K1C did do it better when I turned the fan off. That was the one that almost finished really good. So like it probably a little more tweaking and I would have got like the file looking.
It's not like you print TPU all the time either.
No, and like I don't know, like probably lots of people like it's once in a while. So if you don't know, TPU does come in. Okay, I got the screens ready to share here. TPU comes in different shore hardness. 95 is generally easier to print, and then the lower you go, the more floppy it gets. Yeah. There we go. So this is what we were trying to print, and you can see like the chunky parts are okay. Those generally stuck, but then when you got to the supports or the inner track, so I'm just gonna slice this real quick, and let's bring this down. No. There we go. So this is kind of like, this is what the first layer looks like, and you can see there's a couple things. One, the first layer actually doesn't contain the linking chains, so you're trying to bridge with TPU, which is inherently hard, right? So you can see that like it's not even going to try to print like that inner track on this one. Probably it's detecting the come on, pump, work with me. It's trying to detect the thin walls, I'm sure, and missing them. So that's how thin this is. So you don't have any surface area. It's one extrusion width, for sure. And then let's see if we can go back and then search our global settings here for thin. Hello, thin wall detection. Where are you? Bam. So let's see what we get now with the slice. Yeah. So you can see like it's not even one extrusion. And then if you look at it, it's broken too. So like the slicer actually can't. It's counting on ooze like to fill in some of the sections, which is just not right.
You gotta make sure you turn off the small wall or turn on small wall detection. Then
that's what we just did. Yeah. Without it, it's gone. So like here's the original slice. Bam. So the original slice without the thin wall detection, nothing. Prints in between. And then, so this print is really doomed to be really tricky from the start. And the Ender 3 actually handled it pretty well. It was able to print out a very nice track. The Max and the K1, I've printed TPU with too. It's just this particular print, it wasn't having any of it. And so my Ender 3 that I had, that's I guess Ender 3 in form factor only, right? It was able to accomplish it, and print the TPU quite well actually. So I guess the moral here is your 8-year-old printer good enough? Of course it is. You have to do maintenance on them, but every printer can be specifically tuned and dialed. Like I know, like if you print ABS and pitchy and TPU, it's really actually nice to have a printer that's dialed in for each of those material types. This is going to start talking about the next topic, but when Greg was building his Voron, his Mini, the Hulk behind him there, the green one, it started with the Legend, and then that one literally self-destructed, and but I was tuning those specifically for ABS, right? The ABS parts of those needed enclosure, we printing them. They're coming out okay on the Legend, better on the Ender 3, but basically the ABS printing destroyed the Legend, and we all know that was going to happen anyway.
Mine's now completely dismantled. And
yeah,
I now have.
You have that.
I have some. It's being rebuilt.
Retooled, and then it did eat an entire print plate on and destroy the V wheels that I had to replace on an Ender 3 as well. So tuning the printers for a filament isn't a bad idea, because obviously if you can get different kinematics out of an old printer, maybe that makes it easier for your print ABS, because Core XY can be outside of the enclosure and still drive the system. Now Ray had just a quick point here. To give you an idea, I was printing 400 little pieces to print the nozzle 260 and the bed 60. Yeah, and that's actually, that's what I was using too. I think it was just that print that sucked. But yeah, you're right. I have printed a few things. In fact, I've got TPU on the K1C right now behind me that I've been printing with a few different things too. I do like this kind of a tangent, but I do like printing TPU, even though the harder shore values, because it does give you a little bit of give in your print. So like if you're to build like dice towers and that kind of stuff, it can offer like a little bit of cushioning just because of that elasticity. So there's lots of really good use cases, or you could print yourself some Crocs. But So on the Discord,
Crocs.
on the Discord, Dominic popped in and he had a question, and I really feel that like the way we build Hulk is a really good kind of template, really, for some of his question. But so he was just saying that he's been looking for a new printer, right? He's been looking to
considering, yeah.
And one of the things that he was considering, as of recent, is maybe modifying a printer he has. And so he has like an original Ender 5. So the original Ender 5s are QB printers. They are not Core XY. They are
I have it ready to share whenever.
Okay. We will do it. I'm still dying though. I got 10 minutes, people. 10. Nope, that's Inception. Greg, share. Yes, I did it.
So he was thinking of the Mercury 1 conversion, and that looks like a pretty good entry level conversion if you've never done Core XY before. Really, like it's you do have to print some ABS for it, but if you look at how the gantry set up is, they take the core of the printer and then they just add on top here to some rails and whatnot to be able to convert it, and they have pretty good instructions, very Voron-ish set of instructions on how to print. They have good descriptions of all the parts you need, and everything's labeled nicely. So it looks like it'd be good for intermediate beginner if you want to convert an older printer and get a new lease on life. And then they have all the clipper instructions with it as well. So I think this is a pretty solid idea. But he was saying that he wanted to maybe, and he's in chat right now, buy a new printer and print the parts to convert his old printer, because the new printer would be able to print ABS right out of the box.
So this is the nature of Wrap right here, right? You're going to use something, you're going to modify something you have and make it new again and continue using a printer that you like. We've talked about that before too. Hey Alex, good morning. Or afternoon. I don't even know. It's probably afternoon. I don't know. Evening maybe even. But I think this is a great conversion kit, this 0G. I think it gives you something that's stronger, sturdier, faster. You know, you're going to benefit from the Core XY kinematics.
It looks like it has really good instructions too.
So to roll the conversation back a bit now, to build it, you have to print ABS, and you could print your ABS like doing like a PCB way or something like that, where you send the model files away to them and pay them to print you the model files and send you.
Put a cardboard box around it.
Well, no, he needs to print ABS first, and I don't know if you've done the hot end on your Ender 3 to print ABS.
That's a valid point.
So if you've upgraded your nozzle to print hotter, then for sure you could, like Greg said, probably make a makeshift enclosure, print the parts on your Ender 5, and then move on, and then I use those to upgrade it. PCB way is pretty cheap when you're looking at Ender 5. You could Photoshop, like, obviously Wind Phone Spool, they're pretty far from you, but like print shops that are a little more local.
There's a lot around that or do this sort of thing for people.
Or you could you could look at one idea is to look at the new kind of printers that are out there, the new form obviously everybody is going for is that little Core XY form fashion. And the cool part is you don't need a lot of build space, right? Because all those parts are roughly going to fit on the size of an ender. So
yeah, I mean, the prices on the K1C are pretty reasonable.
yeah, even the K1, those would come back into, like, if you can get them. Or like any Cubic has I think they call theirs the Cobra. Yeah,
So
that's what it
Dominic,
is. Cobra S1.
I don't know who you normally order from. Is there a local 3D printing place that you normally kind of shop at, kind of thing? Because if there is, I mean, you could take a look and see kind of the stuff they have in stock. Now, you did say you're moving, so is this a project you would do when you move across the country, kind of thing? Because then you're going to have to kind of reevaluate all the suppliers of stuff.
I think the biggest question, really, and I know how I would approach it because I like new toys. But like, would farming out the ABS be better than, buying a printer and then modifying this one? And like right now,
I think you could do that pretty quickly.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'd probably buy, like I said, buying one of the newer printers and then converting it. Because like, if you bought a K1C or a Cobra S1, QD Tech has one too. I forget the name of theirs. But QD Tech has one, like, for US dollars right now. You arrived a few days ago. Well, congratulations. That's been a long time coming.
Excellent.
But yeah, like I think it's kind of tricky right now because of all the things that are happening price wise. So like, one thing is if you're going to be looking at a new printer and you do have a local store, or like you're gonna shop at like I forget who makes 3D Jake. There's a printed solid. There's a couple stores down in the States that I can think of. I would look at those printers fast and buy them right now. If you're looking to purchase a printer,
the next batch is the tariffs are going to be quite high.
Just to make sure you secure that. But like QD Tech, like I said too, has like that Core XY factor printer as well for relatively cheap. Elegoo has a Centurion. The K1Cs you can usually get for around $600.
This looks like, Dominic, this looks like a really nice conversion. They've got the guide is very detailed. They have lots of alignment jigs when you're setting up your bearings and whatnot. Yeah, I think this is good. We could probably get off the screen share now. But yeah, I think it's definitely sounds like a good option for you to convert it for sure. So it's just deciding, like David said, do you want to buy the new one, which I think you were kind of leaning that way anyway.
Yeah, and I would lean towards like the form factor, like I said, of the size of a K1C, which is really an Ender 3 still, right? And like I said, there's a few brands that come in around that $500 mark that will let you buy a new printer and then still upgrade your printer, and you're still under $1,000, right? Like, you're going to be laughing. I plan to get a larger enclosed printer. I'll print ABS on that, and then I'll convert the Ender 3. Yeah, and if you're looking for bigger enclosed printers, the biggest one that's the best right now is probably the K2. It's a big old printer that is enclosed that can print ABS and all that stuff. I'm trying to think of what else is like. We were hoping the Bamboo Lab was going to be kind of that, but it is not that, and it's way more pricey. Yeah. So, I feel like the K2, or like maybe bigger for you, is like maybe like 235 cube is bigger than what you have now. So maybe that's a P1P, right? P1S size. I was just looking at the QD Tech website because I look at things, right? and they have a printer that is the 325 by 325 by 315. Weird, I know. Why would they just get the 10 centimeters at the top? Who knows? However, this one costs around, like, for Canadian dollars, it's about $1,000 right now, which generally means it's about $800.
I've honestly never heard of this brand.
Cutie Tech?
Yeah,
They're huge. The Cutie Tech was bigger in the resin printing space for a long time, and then they jumped into the FDM side of things pretty hard. They even have like a full filament line that you can buy from them. Okay, so we're on the same page. The Cutie Tech Plus 4. I was looking at the Max, and you're looking at the Plus 4, which is 305. Yeah, that's a good size. It's a good size and a good price too. Honestly, like if I was looking to expand my fleet right now, like that would be a good choice. It's $1,000 even Canadian, but it's a little bit bigger than other things out there. The only other thing I might look at again would be the Cobra. So like those would be my two: the Cobra S1 or the Cutie Tech Q1 Plus. There, I feel like either of those choices you couldn't go wrong with. I'm gonna throw a wild card in there, but the K1 Max is really good, and it's in the same form factor and roughly the same price. They're right around the $1,000 mark. The K1 Max, interestingly enough, I was talking with Ray this week. You might want to throw the conversion and just upgrade the hot end on it to a unicorn end. But other than that, like the K1 Max is actually a really good printer too. But I feel like the Cutie Tech Plus, the K1 Max, or the S1. Now the S1, the only thing about that one I think is a little smaller. I'm just trying to find. I'm trying to see what the build volume is on it.
I mean, the K1 Max price is really good too.
Yeah. So like I would. So the S1's just slightly smaller. It's 250 cubed, but it's also half that price of everything else. It's $500 right now. Oh, they come with it now. So the Max has the unicorns. Okay, good. It was just the older ones that didn't. Okay. So there you go. So the K1 Max has a unicorn nozzle system, which is actually really nice. And we have that's the one we have practical hands-on on. But I am aware of the Cutie Tech, and I have looked at the brand several times. And I feel like if you were looking at the Plus, I would look at the Max and kind of weigh out the options there. I've heard nothing but good things about either. So,
Yep.
Either way you go, I'm sure it'll be great. And if you need some help, some pointers, I do like the mat. Oh, you're just putting the nozzle kit on your Max. Maybe I should grab one and we'll do the one at the office. I feel just to get it done. The other nice thing is it does upgrade it to do the carbon. I'm just looking at the Cutie and I feel like, yeah, honestly, that looks like a great printer.
Yeah.
I'll do a screen share here. I'll do a screen share just so we can all see what we're talking about. Totally not sponsored, obviously. So here's the one. The Plus is what we're looking at in the middle here. The only thing I don't know, like it's clear that it's clipper. I just don't know if it's open clipper or closed clipper on the Cutie. I feel like it'd probably be open. And that's the one nice thing about the Max that I know for sure is you can.
There's a review on the Aurora Tech.
Yeah, and then who else I saw? I want to say it was the Nerd had one too. So it's a closed system. So I mean that again, we've talked a lot about that. There's advantages and disadvantages to closed systems.
Yep. There totally is.
And like,
if you wanted an open system or one that's pretty open, then the Creality one might be the better choice in that respect. But if you don't care, then maybe sticking with this one might be an option.
The K1 Max also has like the AI detection built into it for like print failure and stuff. So I'm just trying to see.
That's still kind of gimmicky.
Well, it's spaghetti. It seems gimmicky, but it works. Like I've had failed prints that have stopped. More on my Bamboo Lab than on the.
I bet on the Bamboo Lab, I got to say it's pretty good when it detects something. Like I had the filament run out, but it didn't really run out. It didn't pull out. It wouldn't pull out of the spool.
Yeah.
So it's like misfeed, and it stopped. So I was able to fix it.
Yeah.
And then continue my print, and there was no problems and whatnot. So
yeah, but that's different than spaghetti, though, right?
Right. No, that's true. And I've had some spaghetti, and it does quit the print when that happens. So
yeah, I've had the front of the the magnetic part on the front of the hot end where the fan is. Like, yeah, it's popped off, and then I get the alert. It goes, something fell off. You might want to go check. I'm like, okay. Thanks so much. So I don't see anything about the AI detection. However, what is this? Equipped with the latest version of Clicker. Oh no, this is open source compatible.
Nice.
Whoa. Maybe. So, and long story short,
solid choice.
Yeah, are you gonna go wrong with it? No. Can you believe the reviews here? Probably not. Those are probably all bots. But I feel like you'll be fine either way. But like, yeah, the QD Tech has caught my eye quite a few times. I would definitely enjoy having one in my.
I don't think we have like anyone that supplies it around here. We kind of try to stick with brands that we can get serviceable parts from more locally if possible.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, Amazon's a thing and whatnot, but I also like, there's certain places in Calgary and a few other places that we want to try to keep around. So we try to support them.
And I do like, and Dominic, that's a very good point, is they are looking to the future with these printers to give them like they already have the chutes, they have a cutter built into it, right? So like it's ready for an AMS or a CMS. There's one that I was talking about, the Anycubic one, I think will work on a clipper system too. So you could grab the Anycubic version of the AMS and it'll just work on anything with clipper. So now A1 Mini, A1 and P1S Bamboo fanboy. Come on. Yeah. I mean, the problem with the A1 and the A1 Mini right now is just like the enclosure, because for the ABS is what he's for that printing.
And Dominic, I don't know what your budget is.
$5.
But the P1S might be a good choice as well from Bamboo. The P1S is all enclosed. It just has a smaller screen, and yeah, it's a little smaller than what you're looking for. But I mean, you have the P1P, right, David?
No, I always forget. Hold on.
I think the S is the enclosed one. The P1 is without.
No, the P1S is what I have. The P1P is the one that doesn't have the sides.
According to the website, the P1S has the sides.
That's what I just said. I have the P1S. I have the P1S with the MS.
Oh, so you do have the one with all the sides?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you got the shelled one. Okay.
No, it has all the sides.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So that one's like, $649 US right now, and $849 if you get the combo.
Yeah.
So that's something that might be a good option for you as well. And it has the poop chute, it has everything, and they work really well. So it's totally, I mean, you've got lots of options.
But the ones that you're looking at look great. That's the bottom line.
They do.
And Helge is not wrong. Like all the Bamboo Lab stuff. Like I used to be a hater. I have a new printer to hate, which is great. I appreciate the marketing in H2D that I could despise for now. Again, if you want to change my mind, send me one. But like the A1 Mini are great. They just work. They work really good. It's just like the P1P has those sides for ABS. If you're printing small ABS, or even like you can buy those hood enclosures that like drop over the printer kind of thing, like from Amazon for about $40, then the A series is back in it too, right? But I feel like the QD Tech Plus is going to be a good choice, or the K1 Max. I would look at either, but like you said, the QD has the cutter already. The K1 Max can have the cutter. The kit's I think $89 US roughly. But you have to do the upgrade, and I don't think there's
it doesn't have a poop chute.
no poop, no poop. So,
well, it poops. It just poops on the bottom of the printer.
Yeah, and heated chambers,
as far as we know.
So heated chambers are a funny thing, because when you're talking like ambient temperature, quickly get heat up, of course an active heated chamber is going to do it quicker.
So I have an active heated chamber in mind, if I want to use it, but it only actively heats over 30 degrees C. You have to set it, I think, to 45 or something.
Yeah.
And then it'll actively heat, because honestly, for ABS, you don't even have to turn on the active heater, because if you let it warm up ahead of time to chamber temperature, it prints fine. I think if you're printing like PEEK or some other
engineering material,
nylon or something, then an active heater to get it all heated up in a reasonable amount of time and keep it at that temperature, I that totally makes sense. But
the QD heats to 60, which is pretty standard. And honestly, like Greg said, like when we were printing Hulk parts, all I did was turn the heating bed on probably for 20 minutes by itself at like 80, and that whole chamber rose to about 50 degrees, and then after that I started printing, right? So but if it has a heater, that's not a downside. Obviously, that's a great feature to have.
For sure.
The other QD are properly plenty good, but I landed on a brand I know, and that's Helch has a good point too. But the cool thing is Dominic's at a point where he's choosing the brand that he wants to know. I'm envious, right? He's at the beginning of a journey that's gonna be great.
And you can find, now that you're moved and getting everything set up, you can get that new computer set up at the same time.
You take it out of the box. It's time. I feel it's coming.
It's time.
Okay, friends.
I think Cylons yourself.
Am I better now?
No.
Are my Cylon people? I can't be Cylon. Hold on, let me check.
I don't know. It's
hello. No, I'm not Cylon.
Okay.
Am I Cylon? I'm coming through normal on my side. So if there's,
it's an odd sound, but that's okay. We're done. So.
Yeah, sorry. We're going to wrap it up. If I sound like a Cylon, this is going to be even cooler. Thank you for coming today. Remember to like, share, subscribe. We sure appreciate you guys showing up. I hope to find out a little more about what Dominic purchases. That's going to be super cool.
And all hail our computer overlords.
Yes, all hail the Cylon overlords. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Have a good one.